border within Europe. So that this note convinces you. Don't worry yourself. Don't be imagining. You see, the Europeans have invented this thing to suit their environment. Okay, maybe our operations, our economic activities here, we don't need a swap body. That's why up till now nobody has brought it to Ghana. Yes, so we'll continue seeing pictures, but you see. So though at the end we'll go on education tour. Though because of the COVID, education tours were banned since last year, but because I work and the port knows me to be the lecturer for these models, when I write, they dare not refuse. So last year, your seniors, we went on the tour. It was good. You really will learn more practical things than the things you hear in the classroom here. So they are, in Europe, they are not used for sea transport. You see, they are used handled to an extent. Then the units will now be folded up and converted into another carrying mode differently before they can go on the sea. If not, they are also containers anyway. You get it? They are also containers. All that we are talking about how convenient containerization is. So they've done this one. I call it improvised sea container. Because if at the end of the day, they are not roll on from other modes onto the sea, but they are considered in the lake, the general pool of what we are teaching containerization. But they are special units of container types, and their characteristics, they said it, rolled within Europe and never even used on the sea leg proper. All right, so good. And that unit are said can be left behind and located or discharged, whilst the driver with the truck chassis can change to another unit. So the advantage is speed of cargo operations. Swap bodies are capable of being towed by a tractor. I told you that head that tracks hoses are called tractors on road, as well as being carried by rail wagons. Yes, they are wider than standard shipping containers and designed to maximize number of pallets. So they go into the unitization. This is the swap body. This other they are saying. This is the swap body. So this head is called a tractor. They can leave it at any place. They don't need separate trailers and chassis with another tractor to be moving it about. So only one head is good. So there is always dischargeable. Leave it where they are, depending on its status. Where they are leaving it is going to serve a purpose. When they need car for it to be carried or moved to this thing, the tractor is available. The lock and the pivot is here, and life goes on. That is the swap body. All right. Take note of these little things. You can be asked to write short notes on what is the swap body. What is this? Some other ones will be seeing soon. Any notes about the swap body? Yes.
Sometimes I've been seeing the tracks. The body itself will be separated from the back tires.
Yes. So this is the track itself. Anything here, it is the lock and pin here. That is where they reverse, then they lock, then they can drag those bodies that contains the cargo itself. Do you get it? And these ones, we have got specialized ones for the port operations, and those are the ones we call the tractors. Which infinitely, because Murphy is written on it, we all say Murphy is the brand name. The company that is producing, call it Murphy, just like how we call another vehicle Toyota. Okay, Ferguson tractor. Ferguson is the brand name, but the actual equipment is a tractor. Yes, so that's what. So no, we are right. So we've got it now. So always the main body is the one that is mechanically prepared. These things don't have any mechanical propulsion. When this person does not come, this thing is rendered what? Redundant. You get the combination. Good. Yes. So they are citing an example of the loading plan. A manufacturing company that has little or no knowledge of the international shipping trade may believe that once their goods have been placed inside the container, they will be safe from damage. You lie. I'm telling you, if you don't store them well, if you don't lash them well, they are exposed to damage. It can be total damage. The items can be damaged to an extent that when they arrive and you have even paid duty on them, they are rendered valueless. At that point, customs officers who go examine can write remarks and suggest to the government to refund your money to you because the items have been damaged beyond anything. Because in customs law that allows them to pay duty, there's a law that no consumption, no duty payment. I brought the thing. See, consumption means to use in a certain way or manner. So if I cannot use the thing at all, it's useless. Scrap it, we throw it away. I didn't consume it. All right? Yeah, so that is. So if you just think because it is safely packed, you don't concern yourself the way it has been packed, the way it has been loaded, the way it has been protected from harm, anything, even the weather, and any other factors can damage it, though they are in the container. Yes, good. Unfortunately, this is not the case as containers like Oswald bodies experience what? Considerable violent acceleration and the forces throughout their journey. That's what we call cargo movement or cargo shift in port management. That is the word we use there. Yes. So these containers, if you know how disruptive the high seas are, then you before you appreciate what you are saying here. And so that your container should be well stored, stacked, and well protected and lashed, then you can sleep. But even some of the lash ropes can get torn because of the pressure on them during the journey. Some people protect their vehicles, those 5, 6 vehicles in a container with good donnages. Donnages are protecting this thing. Our brothers now use mattress to protect them. Is that not it? Put the used mattress on the windscreen. But the pressure, the weight, when maybe the one they hang, the rope tears and it falls violently, that still the windscreens are damaged. So we are not talking about any small thing, and they are rare. Practically it occurs daily. Yes, it is essential that goods packed inside containers are fully secured against movement to avoid damage to the contents and also to protect personnel when the unit is open for discharge. That's what I explained to you. Each different type of commodity, cuttings, cases, loose items, heavy or hazardous goods will require special storage considerations and security methods. So it depends on the cargo. For instance, you can get a mixed drill of cargo to put in the same container. The mixed drill is you are having dense or very heavy cargoes and very light ones, and your loading clerk, the supervisor, erroneously forget and put lighter, the ones lighter down, then load heavy, the very heavy. So what will happen during the voyage? It happens mostly. It's like an example of this. You load, this is a gallon of plastic gallon of a paint or any liquid. Then you go and load very heavy item like any items made of metal on them. By the time the container will arrive at destination, these plastic containers might not crack or burst, but there will be what? What will happen? There will be what? There will be what? Some of the plastics are robust, very thick. They cannot burst or crack. But with certain liquids and the weight exerted on the top lid of that container, there will be some damage, which will even affect some cargoes in the container. What will happen to that liquid? Use the correct word for me. Spillage. So the spillage can be violent, or but there will be leakages. And by the time the container, you see the liquids has drained alongside, and it's so much because the container has been on the sea for about 40 or 50 days, and they spread in the container, and at varying levels they contaminate other packages in it. Somebody imported printing ink and it passed through my container. We saw it at Golden Jubilee. It has contaminated other people's packages. That's the first liability. The second liability is that your client loses the contents. You see, the contents, why he paid you freight, you put claims against you. He can reject the cargo and say, pay me, refund my money, everything, and you have to do it. So cargo claims, safety nets, you have to do it. So you, the forwarder, will suffer twice. You are repairing or paying for somebody's contaminated, damaged cargo, then the actual product that caused the damage is always also coming after you that I need replacement. So you have to be very careful when you are loading, or we call it stowing containers. That is why those of you containerized cargo, on the surface of the bill of lading, you see a certain clause. There are about 3 or 4 words. Who can remember them? When you take the containerized cargo, not the bulk ones, not the big bulk, containerized cargo, there's always a clause whereby the carrier or wherever is practicing at FUCC is resolving himself of any claim or liabilities when this is occurred. There's always a clause on the bill of lading, apart from there's also one guideline. Let me see my hand those who are my medical. Please raise your hand. You see, who have to answer this question, you get your friends or colleagues who are not for the industry. You see, we have been having bill of lading, but most of you have not decided to say today, I am not working. Let me read these plenty documents and see what at all is it that it gives us problems. When we go to a similar to release, they say this, they say that, your PL is this, your PL has not arrived, your telespace, what at all is this document? Very important critical document in shipping. And the senior sister is airway bill at the airport. That is more dangerous because air traffic is cheap. An aircraft takes 11 or 10 hours from China or America, brings my cargo to the airport because I want speed. Then these infractions will let me keep my cargo there for a week. My purpose of the sweetness is defeated. So this is what you have to be knowledgeable. Please, I'm begging you, if you want to be a professional, documentation starts shipping and shipping closes with documentation. So know the contents of documents.